Welcome back to the Shake&Bake podcast. I'm here at the Hammer. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe as we're posting every week. Hammer, how was your weekend of sports?
That was good, but it's tough. I guess it was a tough weekend for New York football.
Yeah, unfortunately, we were right with the Jets losing, and they are in tank mode, and the Giants had a heartbreaking loss.
Yeah, that Jet game was a tough one. I mean, uh, what do you say about the Jets anymore? I mean, just a horrible performance from the offense. Special teams looks better. Defense is definitely playing better, but their offense is so putrid that he had to pull Fields in the second half and put Tyrod in. But even bothers me is the comments from the owner, Woody Johnson. I think it was yesterday at the NFL owners meeting, and basically threw Fields totally under the bus and basically stood behind Glenn. So I don't know what's that all about.
There's a lot of key takeaways from that press conference. He ripped into Fields with saying, if we could complete a pass, the defense is playing well, but our quarterback can't complete a pass. I really don't understand why, after you paid him $40 million, you're just ripping into him. I kind of understand it, but I wouldn't have said it in the media. And Woody Johnson never can keep his mouth shut. So that's a number of reasons why the Jets will be terrible. And also the fact that he says he sticks with Aaron Glenn and he trusts the process and he's staying out of his way. I kind of like that comment, but I mean, I don't think the Jets will ever make the playoffs under Woody Johnson at this rate.
Yeah, like you said before, it's a good point. You can think it, but don't say it in the media. I mean, now he puts Glenn in a tough situation because I'm sure Fields is not very happy about it. And I'm sure Garrett Wilson's not very happy about it because he's good friends with Fields. So it's just a dumb comment from a horrible owner, and he defends Glenn. Isn't Glenn the one who brought Fields in? So I think he had a big part of bringing Fields in, and you paid Fields, which is ridiculous, $40 million for 2 years, $20 million a year. I mean, that's just absolutely insane contract that Woody gave him. Woody's paying so much dead money out there. That just shows you what a moron he is as an owner. I looked it up. He's paying Saleh $10 million for $5 million this year and $5 million next year. I mean, if you're Robert Saleh, I mean, that's like a Christmas present. He must be celebrating every day. And he lands back in Frisco as a defensive coordinator, and he's doing a great job. Got a 5-year, $28-30 million contract. I mean, he's the luckiest guy in the world to get out of that sewage in the swamps of the Meadowlands.
Well, the Fields contract, like, I think it's 30 mil and then 10 mil. So I was doing a couple like research stuff yesterday that if they cut Fields, they'll have around like 45 to $55 million in dead cap with between him and Rodgers' money, which they should have split up. I mean, they should have tanked it 1 year, is what I'm saying, instead of splitting it up. Because while you're 0-7, you knew the team was going to be terrible this year. I would just ate all the dead cap money and then moved on. And now we're just stuck in a pile of abyss of dead cap
Rubbish.
money.
Yeah, I mean, I think I saw some. I didn't know about Rodgers' dead money, but I know Fields is if they cut Fields at the end of the year, I think it's a $22 million cap hit for next year, which is ridiculous. So he's not going anywhere. They're not going to be. I mean, they're not that stupid. I don't think. You never know. I got to say, it's depressing to watch this franchise just every year just never produce. Best game, I guess, was the Pittsburgh game when they were in it, and the Tampa game. They're in a few games, but they just can't. They can never close it,
I'd
and
say
finish it.
I'd say the
And
GM, I mean the GM has done a terrible job. And I think Glenn is a little on the hot seat right now, but I think they're taking, because Woody Johnson said, if you're a real Jets fan, you know what's going on. So I think they're tanking. And then I think the DC kind of saved his job for a couple of weeks. It just depends on how he plays. The defense is kind of playing physical, and they finally put in the rookie Malachi Moore at safety instead of Tony Adams. And Sauce also got hurt, so they started AZ Thomas, but he played well. It's his first game, so it was good to see some of the young guys out there.
well, the sad thing is, I mean, you can start watching the quarterback watch in college now that you're being a Jet fan. And do you trust this organization who's in there now to make the decision on a college quarterback,
Not
Glenn
at all.
and Moochie? You trust those guys to
I
pick
do
the right
not trust
quarterback?
Muji and Glenn. But the thing is, we don't know if they're tanking or not. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're tanking because there's no way Aaron Glenn, when he was on the lines, they were like the number one seed, had like 14 wins, and they just knew how to play like competent football. Like they don't know how to play football. Like you have a 50 something yard field goal and you're not going for it. They're tanking. They have to be tanking.
I mean, and also remember last week in the halftime, he just lets the clock run out, doesn't throw a Hail Mary, doesn't do anything. Just I don't know. I like I said, I was hoping he'd do well, but it's not looking too good now. It looks really bad, and it'll be interesting to see if they win one game or none, 2 games or 0 games. If they keep this knucklehead at coach, I don't know. I don't know if Woody's going to eat more money. He's like I said, he's paying a lot of dead money out there. Does he want to add another 4 years of dead money and fire Glenn?
I mean, the money's not the problem. It's the coaching. But you don't know if they're tanking or not. That's the problem. Like no one knows, so you can't like justify a decision to fire the coach. But if he goes 0 and 17 and they like weren't tanking, then I don't want him grooming another quarterback or anything. Like nothing, none of this
Well, how
has
about
worked.
this? How about this offensive coordinator? This is the first time he's an offensive coordinator, right? He
Yeah,
worked
but he hasn't
behind.
done a terrible job. It's really Fields taking 8 seconds to throw the ball. Like you saw Tyrod when he came in, they started chucking the ball out in the field because a lot of the corners were sitting 5 to 6 yards and they were running a lot of go routes and chucking it deep.
Yeah, Fields obviously can't read defenses, so I guess he's not the brightest bulb on the lamp. Which they should have known that before they drafted him, signed him as a free agent. I mean, listen, I'm not going to kill the move. I thought it was a good move for 2 years. I don't like the money part of it, but I think moving on from Rodgers was a good thing. Rodgers is a me guy, and when he was throwing people under the bus last year, it really bothered me. He's a real selfish piece of you know what, and I'm glad they moved on from him. Taking a shot on Fields, I can't kill him for that. Obviously, the first game he did well, but since then it's been downhill. So the Jets are in the market for a quarterback. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, I would have rather traded for Kirk Cousins instead of Fields because I'd rather have a guy who can throw the ball properly. But I mean, I'm not gonna kill a lot of the running quarterbacks in the league aren't good. There's only one, it's like Lamar, but I mean, he's learned how to throw the ball exceptionally well.
I would take Flacco back.
And we play Flacco this week.
That's gonna be another loss.
Yeah, we don't have Sauce either. I don't think concussion and Garrett
Oh,
Wilson's not gonna play.
Jamar Chase is gonna go crazy. What do you think Jamar Chase can get another 16 receptions this
Yeah,
week?
I guess who plays him in fantasy? Me, the obvious.
He's a killer. I'll tell you, you got to give Flacco a lot of credit. I don't. What is Flacco like? 38 years old? 40? What is he?
He's 40, I think.
Wow, he's had a great career.
He played for like so many teams. You know, if he
Yeah,
plays for the Steelers, he's played for every team in that division.
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. Let's go towards the Giants. Somehow they lost that game. I was watching it. I thought the Broncos were going to get blown out and killed, and then the Broncos crawled back and won because the guy missed the extra point, and they won by one on a late field goal.
Yeah, I watched the replay last night. I'm just trying to figure out how the Giants lost that game. They go out to Denver, they kick them in the teeth for 3 quarters. 19, it was 19-0, and you're like shocked, because Denver's definitely one of the hardest places to win, stadiums to win, and they just. I watched it, I couldn't believe what was happening in the fourth quarter. I don't know if the high altitude did him in, but the key I thought was the last drive the Giants made, and he went Dart threw that interception. They went first down. They ran it. They ran it. They called Denver called 2 timeouts in a row. They had 1 timeout left. 3rd and 5 with 4:57 left. Just run the damn ball. You're on your 30. What I think it was 35-yard line. Run the ball. Let them take their final timeout, and then kick the ball, punt the ball. Then they have 75, 80 yards to go, and they have to score a touchdown and a 2-point conversion just to tie the game. Right? It was 26-18, I believe. So that was a horrible call. Then he throws that interception, and that turned the whole game around.
Yeah, I mean, Dart played well the whole game, but that one thing, I think he sold that game entirely because that one play, him and the kicker, but that one play, he lofted it to the guy right in front of him and threw a pick.
Yeah,
It,
that was
it
well.
really
I think
brought Denver's life back into the game because I think they got two scores in like 2 minutes.
right, but going back. I mean, Dar played great. Listen, even the Bronco players, defensive players, were praising him. They didn't think he was that good. They were like, "Wow, he's really good." But the play call, 3rd and 5, 4:57 left. They just took 2 timeouts in a row. They were going to take another timeout, and they would have no timeouts left. You got to come down. You have to score a touchdown and a 2-point conversion just to tie the game, to send it to overtime. And I thought the call was just horrendous.
I didn't think the call was horrendous. I mean, you could have just slid like a lot of like the better quarterbacks like Mahomes and Josh Allen and Lamar. They would just ran up the pocket and slid and then ate the clock instead of
I
threw
don't
a ball
mind.
into
Yeah,
double coverage and lofted it to the defender.
absolutely. He should never throw in the ball. Like you said, go back. If no one's open, just run the ball, fall down, let them take a timeout, punt the ball, and then make them come down and score a touchdown and a 2 point conversion. It was just like again, it was a terrible call.
I don't think the Broncos. I don't know how they're 5-2. They've been getting a lot of good wins,
They
but
were even
they're a good
shocked.
team. They're a
They,
good
they
coach
were on the
team.
sideline. They were on the sideline, like shaking their heads how they won that game.
Yeah, they're a good coach team. Sean Payton,
He's a good coach. That's who the Jets should have went after, but the Jets always want to go after the
coaches.
first time
When was the last
coaches.
time the Jets didn't hire a first time coach? Was it Bill Parcells?
Uh, Rex was a coach, wasn't he?
No, but he wasn't a head coach.
I thought Rex was the head coach. No, you might be right.
Maybe, but I saw a thing like
It
the
wasn't
Jets have like
Gase. It
hired
wasn't
all first
Sala,
time.
right? I mean, it could be no. It could have been Pete Carroll.
Probably, but like that was like back then.
That was way back, right? Wasn't Bruce Coslet? That guy was a disaster.
It's insane. They just hire the same thing every year.
It's crazy. And they play what the Bengals this week, and like I said, without Sauce, they're going to have a tough time.
Yeah, especially with those two receivers.
And the Giants
Joe
go to Phil.
Flacco, good fantasy pickup for anyone.
Exactly. Then Joe Flacco, not Joe Flacco. The Giants go to Philly.
Nah, it's gonna be a good game there. Let's talk about the Monday night games. We saw the Lions destroy the Bucks, and then the Seahawks kind of closed it out against the Texans. How do you think about the Lions? Do you think they're going to be the number one seed?
They got a good team, the Lions. They're so powerful on offense with all those guys, St. Brown and Gibbs, and Laporta's not doing that, as well as I thought he'd do, but he can go off on any game. They got a great team. I mean, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with, in the national conference.
The Lions are going to be the number one seed because of one, Gibbs, and their offensive line is one of the best in the league. They just like open up holes. They have Montgomery and Gibbs who can run the ball, and then you got St. Brown, who's arguably top two receiver in the NFL. And what do you know? Their defense shut down Baker. Was it Aaron Glenn or was it just the coaching on that team too?
They're probably happy to get rid of Aaron Glenn.
I mean, their
So
their coordinator called the amazing game. They shut down Baker for like 3 quarters, and Mike Evans obviously horrible injury, got hurt. He had concussion and collarbone, so he's not gonna break the record. He's tied with Jerry Rice.
he broke his collarbone. That's a shame. They've been dealing with a lot of injuries, the Bucks this year. And Abuke, he got hurt too, didn't he?
He did
Or
hamstring, but he played.
he played.
He's healthy now.
Okay, I know he was banged up, but the Bucks, I tell you, got to give Baker a lot of credit. They're hanging in there. There's another coach, Todd Bowles. Who do you used to coach for? Exactly. But don't go out. You're talking number one seed for Detroit. How about the Eagles had a nice win?
Yeah, but I think my two teams for the number one seeders are the Rams and the Lions, and then the Eagles is in that mix too. But they have to do more with Saquon to really show me like that they're a true contender because Saquon hasn't done nothing, and that offensive line is kind of like mediocre at the moment.
Be an interesting game if Eagles and Giants this week. But the Eagles, you don't count them out. They kind of went to a malaise last year at this time, and they came out of it, and they just crushed everybody. Once they got to the playoffs and the Super Bowl. So you can't count them out. The Rams look really good in London. They blew out Jacksonville. I got to say, you got to give Stafford a lot of credit. 5 TDs, 3 to Devontae Adams. They got a really good offense. They have an underrated defense. They got a good team, and they got a good coach.
Yeah, and you know who their DC is? It's Don Shula's son
Oh, okay.
on the Rams. So I mean, he's a great mind. Obviously, he learned from his father. But Rams are top team Lions, and then the Seahawks Texans game. I kind of turned it off watching it late, but the defense in the Texans is unbelievable. You have Will Anderson, who's a freak, getting that forced fumble touchdown, brought it back into the game. But the offense on that team is like the Jets. They can't do anything.
Their offense is pretty bad, and their defense is very good. But yeah, here's another sad thing. I remember watching Darnold at the combine throwing in the rain in USC. Of course, the Jets take him, and he goes to the Jet funeral home for quarterbacks, and he's doing well. Darnold's throwing the ball very well.
Obviously, they have Jackson Smith and Jigba. He's like the number one target on that team. They have Cooper Kupp. They got a lot of weapons. Charbonnet, the backfield, and their defense is top two defense in the league right now.
No, they look good, Seattle. A lot of good. Give them a lot of credit, and I'm happy for Darnold. I'm happy to see him do well.
It's good to see Darnold do well. Like I root for those like type of guys, and I root for Baker too. And obviously, the Baker is going to play the Saints this week. He's going to bounce back, and they're going to destroy the Saints.
Yeah.
But it's a good way to like if they come off like a bad loss, they just play like a terrible team, get the mojo back. But the Mike Evans injury is kind of devastating for that team.
Absolutely. But also, when watching football pretty much all day on Sunday, there's a lot of bad teams in the NFL besides the Jets. I mean, the Dolphins are just putrid. I mean, they went into Cleveland, and Cleveland's got a good defense. I'll give them that. But the Dolphins just got manhandled. They got destroyed in every aspect of the game. Tua looks like garbage. He was throwing interceptions everywhere. I think he threw 3 interceptions. He was just awful.
I think Quinn Ewers might be the starter this week.
I think he is, and I'm surprised McDaniel still has a job. They've been talking down here in South Florida about getting rid of him. I think he's on a real short leash, but they are just putrid. And another team who I think is terrible is the Raiders. I mean, they that was a joke against the Chiefs. I mean, that was just an absolute joke. I think they pulled Mahomes in like early in the fourth quarter. The game was already over.
I had Rashee Rice in fantasy, and I got screwed because I lost by like 15, and Rashee Rice was going off. He had like 20 points in the first quarter.
Yeah, they pulled him right, and at the end of the game, they said, "Forget it. Sit here, sit on the sideline, have a hot dog, and have a soda with Mahomes." The Raiders are the total
I
disaster.
think the Raiders had like the most career low snaps. They had like 30 snaps or something in total.
It's a joke. I mean, Gino was running for his life. Gino, I'm not a big fan of. He just throws way too many interceptions.
He's the Mr. Pick, but I mean they got Genti, they got Brock Bowers also hasn't played. He's hurt, so that kind of
Well,
really derails them. And Jacoby Myers was hurt.
I think the Jets are in the Dolphins are going to challenge the Jets for that first pick.
What are they gonna take another quarterback? They can't. They got Tua locked up for another like couple years on his contract, and I think they're gonna take a position player and maybe make a trade, try to trade Tua for some pieces. Maybe if they do that, it's a little mystery going on with the
I don't think
Dolphins.
you get too much, Matt, for Tua. I mean, he's just first of all, he's a piece of glass. He's probably one concussion away from
Yeah,
his
that is
career
true.
his career being over. I mean, he's turning into a not having the cheetah hurts big time, but he's just throwing the ball up there like a lollipop, and it's getting picked off a lot. So, like I said, that game was a joke. I mean, Cleveland just crushed them.
I just want to talk about a lot of news. There's been a lot of like breaking news about some trade rumors out there. Obviously, we know like Brees Hall and a bunch of other pieces, but did you see the one yesterday with the Raiders, with the Cowboys, because they made that deal for Micah
Oh,
Parsons,
for
got the first round
Crosby?
pick. They want to trade for Crosby.
Yeah, that was interesting. I thought the Cowboys might. I guess Williams is running the ball well. They don't really need Brees Hall. I mean, the Crosby's a beast. I mean, I love the guy. He's a great player, great
Yeah,
teammate.
it's Jerry Jones. Remember that meeting? He's like, why can't I use these picks to go get more picks, more players?
Hey, listen, it could happen. I mean, anything can happen. When is the trade deadline, Matt?
I think it's November 8th.
Okay, so we have a few more weeks before it, like 2 weeks before it.
They can, Max Crosby is young. He has a like a low contract, it's like 25 mil for an
Three
edge
weeks.
rusher instead of Miles Garrett's like 40 mil. So they can trade like two first and then to get Max Crosby, and that's
That would
unbelievable.
be interesting
Unbelievable play.
because the Cowboys are starting to play better now. You know, the CD Lamb came back last week, had a nice long bomb touchdown for my fantasy football quarterback, Dak. So they're definitely playing better football right now. If they get Crosby, that'd be huge.
Yeah, if they get Crosby, I think they're definitely going to make the playoffs. I like the Cowboys. I like Dak. I like CeeDee Lamb. And Pickens has been like a hot, like a lot of people said Pickens is not that good, this and that, but he's been unbelievable for that team.
It's what do you call it? They have a nice turnaround for the Cowboys. I mean, let's see what happens. But I like the direction they're going in. And where do you think Brees is going to wind up?
Obviously, like you said, the Chargers, but he could. I think he's gonna go to the Chiefs. The Chiefs just can't get the run game going, and they're gonna load up.
That would be interesting. Brees to the Chiefs.
The Chiefs, obviously, they have like the best team in the league right now, and they have like the best coaches, but they need to get their run game going to really open up everything.
You think the Dolphins will make any trades, like Waddle or somebody?
I think they could trade Waddle or Achan because
I don't.
they're in full rebuild mode. They want
I don't know if they would trade Achan. He's like the only guy they really. I mean, he's the most talented player they have on that
not if
whole
you get a
team.
good package for him. A lot of teams like the speedy guys.
He'd be attractive. I mean, what do you think? Achan could get you a first round pick?
100%. Like a team that is like because obviously like a playoff team that wants to go far, they're gonna get like a low first round pick and give it up and give it like number 20 something. And so, I mean, it's worth it if you really think you can make the playoffs and go deep.
I wouldn't be shocked if the Dolphins trade one of their core players like a Waddle or Achan, but it's going to be interesting. I think there'll be a lot of movement.
Apparently, the Giants are in the move for a receiver too because of the neighbor's injury. But I mean, they're
The,
2-5 now. I don't think they're
the
gonna try to
Giants should be in the
trade.
market for a kicker.
Yeah, let's talk about that. How bad is that?
Oh my God. Didn't they have the guy from Atlanta? He didn't make the team, or they had him in for tryout.
Yeah, Young Hoku.
Ku Kim, whatever his name is,
Yeah,
Kim
they had
Jong
him and
Hoo, whatever his
they
name
cut
is.
him for this international guy. The GM of the Giants needs to go, and the coach. It's a
That was
holy.
horrible. That's a listen. That loss was so brutal. But the only good thing for the Giants, I tell my wife who's a big Giant fan, is you got a quarterback for the future. It looks like, and you have Scattaboo. You have a good defensive. You have really good defensive players on the line and linebacker. So I mean, Giants are definitely going in the right direction. Listen, they went into Denver and beat the crap out of them for 3 quarters. So I was really impressed, and I was shocked they lost. I was disappointed because I'm not a big Denver fan, but I was definitely rooting for the Giants.
It's gonna be interesting this year to see how the trade deadline works out because a lot of teams could move off like one of their star players for a couple picks, especially with the Jets and Brees Hall. Would you want to get rid of Brees?
I think at this point you want draft capital, and Brees is this is he's in the final year of his contract, so I think it's a no brainer to get rid of Brees, and you can get running backs out there, in the middle rounds. So I hate to see Brees go. I like Brees, but the state that the Jets are in right now, they got to do something. They need picks.
I want like a young guy. Like remember the lines when they like were in rebuild mode, they traded Swift and got Gibbs. So I kind of want like a young, speedy guy who's very good instead of like Brees. He's kind of like winding down. I mean, the Jets don't use Brees. They said like in the uh what was it, the training camp that they wanted to get Brees the ball more catches. He's got like 2 catches to pass like 2 games.
They're just a disaster. You see how fast Gibbs is on that touchdown. I
He's
think he
so good.
did they clock him at 23 miles an
He's my
hour?
favorite player in the NFL. He's with 22 miles an hour. And that's like the best blocking he's ever had, like all year. Montgomery's been getting like the holes, like in the Baltimore game where he was running down the sideline, whatever, the hash marks. If that was Gibbs, that's like a touchdown in 2 seconds.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, the Lions are really the force to be reckoned with. Let's talk about
Ex-
this Thursday night game, Minnesota Chargers. Both teams really got devastating losses, but they need to bounce back. I think the Chargers will close it out, Jim Harbaugh, but they're dealing with a lot of injuries.
The Chargers are like an enigma. I just can't figure them out. I thought they'd be a lot better than they are right now, but like you said, they have a lot of injuries, but they've been hit or miss. And I think it's the same thing with the Vikings. I thought the Vikings would give the Eagles a real tough time, and the Eagles just kind of manhandled them. And of course, my AJ Brown, who I put on the bench on my fantasy, who hasn't done crap all year, breaks out for 2 TDs and like 100 and something yards. Unbelievable.
You're gonna play him this week against the Giants. He's gonna get
Yeah,
four
yeah,
points.
yeah. Get like 2 points.
The Chargers, they just been doing a lot of injuries. Their first round pick Hampton, big loss for them. He was the big run game. A lot of teams now don't really stack the box because they don't run the ball that much. I mean, Herbert's throwing the ball well. He had 2 picks. One of them was a deflection, and the guy caught it. But he hasn't played up to the MVP Herbert we saw in the first 3 games, and
He's
the
got
receivers are
weapons.
playing well.
I
Yeah,
mean,
the receivers are playing well.
and the tight end emerged last week. Was it Gadsden? He had a great game. And what do you call it? I tried to get him on the waiver last night. I couldn't get him. I wound up with Otten from
Yep,
Tampa Bay.
I got him.
You bitch.
No, but it's not like a Jim Harbaugh like last game against the Colts. They got manhandled by the Colts. Like Jonathan Taylor ran all over them. They couldn't get one stop, and Jim Harbaugh loves his defense and running the ball, like an old school style of football.
And they're in good hands with Harbaugh. Harbaugh's a great coach. I mean, the Chargers will be fun. It should be a pretty interesting game. It should be actually a pretty good game. And getting back to the Colts, I mean, how good are the Colts? I mean, Jonathan Taylor. Wow. I
He's
mean,
the best player I've ever seen.
I think it's the third game where he had 3 touchdowns.
It's insane. They love him. And Daniel Jones, so is this
Wow.
Peyton Manning? What's going on back there?
Wow. Daniel Jones, good for him.
They showed a thing was like Daniel Jones, Sam Darnold, and Baker, and then they showed the record of their teams and then the record of the Jets, Giants, and the Browns.
Daniel Jones back from the dead. I mean, I get you got to feel you happy. Got to feel happy for the guy. He's obviously getting coached up, and what do you call it? He's doing great. He's one of the best.
Obviously, the Colts have a better team, but when he got traded to the Vikings, I think, or they released him, and then he went to the Vikings. And then Kevin O'Connell, who's apparently the quarterback whisperer, kind of
Yeah.
coached him up, I guess, and gave him like
Yep.
a new, fresh life.
Yep.
But I
Nice.
think the same thing with Darnold, gave him fresh life with him too.
Yeah, the Colts are a threat to the AFC, right? They're going to make the playoffs.
100% they're gonna make the playoffs this year, but it depends on their injuries. God forbid anything happens, but their defense is playing like a top 10 defense, and Jonathan Taylor, no one can stop him. It's just like insanely hard, and they got
He's
weapons on the outside.
yeah, Pittman's good, right? But Downs didn't play, I don't think, this week. He was out.
But they got Tyler Warren. He's unbelievable.
Tyler Warren's great. I mean, he's like the Brock Bowers of this year, from last year. Brock
I
Bowers.
wanted the Jets to draft, but I mean, we got that line guy.
How is Mumbo doing?
He's not bad. I mean, it's his rookie year. He's playing against like TJ Watt and all these like supreme edge rushers, but he hasn't been terrible. I'll take a young tackle, but I would have rather gotten a cheap guy in free agency and Tyler Ward. We need weapons. There's no one to help Garrett Wilson. It's just insane.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's like they were saying. I was watching one of the shows on TV, sports shows, and they were saying like ripping Woody for saying what he did, and like, does he lose the locker room? Like saying, why did you just rip our leader and quarterback who's playing terrible fields, but still, you keep that in house. You don't
You can
blab it.
never keep his mouth
Yeah,
shut.
you don't blab it out to the media to everyone to hear. Now it's all over the place. So now the players and the Jets are saying like, what the hell is wrong with this guy? He's a total idiot, and he's our owner. He should have stayed in. He should have stayed in England.
The only good thing he says is we got Sauce and Garrett locked up and they're unbelievable. That's the only good thing he said out of that press conference.
Got an emerging offensive line. You had some young guys in there, Fashiono and Mumbo. We'll call him the Mamba. And their offensive line is not that bad. Mason Taylor is emerging. I think he's going to be a good player. Like you said, the safety Malachi is going to be a good player. So I think you got to give these guys, unfortunately, Glenn and Moochie, another year. And then if they don't do anything, maybe it'll be like a Titan situation where if they don't draft the guys this year, who they have to have a good draft and they have to get off to a much. I mean, you can't get off to a worse start, but you have to get off to a good start next year. And if you don't, maybe like Tennessee did, but you can them. You can them
I mean, the
both.
Jets are obviously going to draft a quarterback. 100% they're drafting a quarterback. There's no other person. Unless they get some like free agent quarterback that just winds up going to them, they're drafting a quarterback. But like, I mean, we don't have anyone to throw the ball. Like going back to Tyler Warren, we don't have anyone to throw the ball. So like, I wouldn't have wanted Warren. Like Membo is fine. He's a good tackle. He's big. He's strong. Who's throwing Mason Taylor the ball? Mason Taylor's like 3 catches every game.
Yeah, they have to like draft quarterback and then trade back into the first round if there's a really stud receiver there, and bring in another stud receiver to help out Garrett. There's
And
no
it doesn't
doubt.
matter like with all these picks that we're getting in the first round. Like, yeah, we got a lot of first round picks. We don't go far with these first round picks. Like thinking about it, Olu is going to be in his third year next year, and then you're going to have to pay him soon. We need to get a quarterback as soon as possible to this team and start throwing the ball. Like Garrett Wilson's about to be 27 soon or 26. Like it's these guys are getting old.
Are there any experienced free agent quarterbacks that are going to be available in
Horrible next
2026?
year. Horrible.
It's a horrible, what do you
Very
call it?
bad. It's like Jacoby
Free,
Brisket.
free agent group.
It's not good at all.
Just the Jets' luck, right?
It's horrible. Let's move forward towards hockey. Talk about the Islanders and Matthew Schaefer's legacy night.
He's unbelievable. Number one pick overall. And he's got a 6 point streak right now, which I don't know if it breaks a record for a defenseman. I think it might break a record from a defenseman. I think Makar had it at 5, but he's a beast. The Islanders started off slow. They lost the first 3 games, and now they've come back and they've won 3 games in a row. And this kid is going to help turn this franchise around and hopefully get him to the playoffs if he stays healthy. But just seems like he's very poised and mature for an 18-year-old. So if you're an Islander fan, you're very happy that this kid's on your team.
I can see the Islanders doing like a couple moves. Say like they're like on the border of making the playoffs. Like they're kind of 500 around the trade deadline. I could see him making a couple moves to really get that boost. Because this GM, I think, wants to like kind of get the team going, get a couple wins under their belt, maybe
They're
make the
playing.
playoffs. And Sorokin has played like mediocre, but I mean he's getting shelled in the net.
Yeah, that's the one concern I have is their defense, group, not Schaefer, but you have Mayfield back there. Pellich and Pulak are no spring chickens anymore. They're getting kind of old. Then you have D'Angelo and Romanov. Romanov's pretty good, but D'Angelo's okay. He's hit or miss. So their defensive group, like we talked about in an earlier podcast, they're not a very young team. They're I think they're the third oldest team behind Edmonton and Pittsburgh, but it's going to be interesting to see how this season progresses. I think they'll be in contention for a wild card. And like you said, either they're in the wild card and they need some more ammunition, they'll trade for some players, or if they're not in it, at the March trading deadline, whatever it is, they'll sell some players.
I just think that The team, who's the power play guy? Whoever the power play guy needs to get a raise because I've never seen the Islanders power play this good.
Yeah, I forget who they brought in the coaches. They brought
I
in
think he's
some
from
really.
Colorado.
Yeah, I was just gonna say he obviously has ties to Roy, but he had a good reputation. I forgot the guy's name. I have to look it up. But they brought in some really good assistant coaches, and definitely that was our special teams over the last couple of years. Have just been
Horrible. They would
killing
just
us.
pass the puck and never shoot.
And their penalty kill was one of the worst in the league. They have to work on that a little bit better, but their power play, and don't forget, Schaefer is going to be out there, I'm sure, moving forward. If he keeps progressing the way he is, he's going to run your power play.
Yeah, he's a beast. I love Schaefer. I'm gonna buy a Schaefer jersey. He's so good.
Yeah, he is so good. It's I
Just
got to
good to
say,
watch, like a young guy like that good, first overall pick, and do that well.
they're saying the Calder is given out for the rookie of the year. Some guy said, watch out, this kid is going to win the Norris Trophy for the best defenseman in the
He
league.
didn't get an assist and a goal last night.
You got a goal and assist last night, yeah.
I mean, it's just insane. Barzell's also playing well too. I'm not gonna lie.
They got, Barzell, they got talent, the Islanders. Like you said earlier, Sorokin's got to pick it up. He has not been playing that great. So,
The other
uh,
goalie played well last game.
yeah, it's a Richie or Ricky. What's it?
I don't know. I don't even know his
Richie,
name.
whatever his name is. He's got to win. I think he got the first win of the year for them.
Good for him. Yeah, it just depends. If Wob plays well, I mean, the players play well under Wob. Obviously, he'll keep his job, but his job is kind of on the hot seat, depending because this wasn't the coach the GM picked. But I
No,
mean,
I can see.
they're playing well.
Yeah, we're both rooting for a while. I hope Rod does, does a good job. Does a good job, gets them to the playoffs. I think that'd be a good step for the Islanders with Schaefer there and their future and the minors and their their pool of draft players is pretty good. It's definitely gotten better. They used to be like one of the worst talent draft capital that they had, or I should say farm systems. Now they're one. I think they're in the top 10 farm systems. They brought in some talent.
They have a lot of good guys, like young guys,
Yep.
and like Bridgeport too. So
Yep.
hopefully the Islanders make the playoffs. Go to the World Series now. It's going to be happening this week. Who do you think is going to win this?
I'll stick with my early prediction: the Dodgers.
Yeah, I think it's the Dodgers too, but Vlad has been unbelievable in the postseason. That guy is just the best. He's like prime David Ortiz.
Yeah, that was a good final game between the Mariners and
Oh my God, the
Toronto.
guy hit the 3-run home run to take the lead.
Yep.
And that
Yeah.
guy also got drilled in the kneecap at like 99 miles an hour the game before.
Yeah, I saw that. Wow, that can't feel too good. It's like getting hit in the ankle with a slap shot in hockey.
So they're going to be going to Toronto for the first game. Toronto has home field advantage, but I don't think the home field advantage really phases the Dodgers. Their pitching is they had three pitchers go through like the first three games, like 20 innings. Like they're just like the best. I don't
Did you
know.
see the home run Obatani hit?
He hit three home runs. One of them
No,
went
the
like out
one
of the
when
park.
I think one went out of the stadium,
It
didn't
was
it?
469 feet.
He's like the Godzilla of baseball. He's
Yeah, I don't know. I
unbelievable.
don't understand how he's this good. Like he can pitch, like unbelievable. He pitched like 7 innings, and then he went through like three home runs. And the guy on the Brewers was like speechless after the game. He's like, "This is the best performance I've ever seen in my life."
He's a Japanese Babe Ruth. My
It's
father was a
insane.
big Yankee fan, watching all the Yankee games and when he growing up, DiMaggio, and he always said the best player he saw was Babe Ruth. He always just say he can pitch and a home run hitter that Ruth was. There hasn't been a player in my lifetime to come in here except for Obatani, who pitches and hits home runs.
And he can steal bases too. He can do everything.
He's probably the best baseball player. He might go down as one of the best baseball players ever.
Just because of the versatility of him.
Absolutely.
And then you have Freddie, you have Freeman, who's like
I love
one
Freeman.
of the best hitters of all time. Like he just like in clutch
Clutch.
moments. Mookie Betts, great shortstop. They
Yep.
have they have like the Avengers of a team. They have Muncy, who's been unbelievable to post. Tommy Edman is just like a little gnat. He doesn't go away. He just chips away at the bat and gets base hits and doesn't strike out.
And their pitching staff's good.
They have the best pitching, like starting rotation in the league. Yamamoto has been unbelievable. Blake Snell. It's the Dodgers. I think the Dodgers are going to win it, maybe 4-2,
Now,
4-1.
let me ask you a question, Matt. You know better than me. You have to win 4 games in the World Series, I hope.
Yeah, it's BO7.
Yeah, because in the playoffs, it was like win 2 games. I never
Well,
heard
the
of
first
that.
couple games, the wild card's BO3, and
Right,
then the other game is BO5,
right.
and then it goes to BO7 for the championship series.
Which it should.
Yes, I think the way it's is good is laid out perfectly fine.
Because in the old days, it was always like, except for like the early stages, it was always 4 out of 7.
Yeah, my prediction is Dodgers 4-1 or 4-2.
Yeah, I can't go against that. Like I gotta
especially because
agree.
they're healthier too and they won earlier.
I have to agree with you on that one.
All right, we're going to be signing off here in the Shake and Bake boxes. Josh, what is your predictions for the Jets coming up this week?
A loss.
Well, what's the score? Give us a score prediction.
Oh boy, now you put me on a spot. I'll say I'm gonna say the Bengals will put 27-30 on the Jets, and the Jets will score probably about 10 to 13 points.
Yeah, I'm going to do Joe Flacco, 3 passing touchdowns, probably like 200 yards. Probably 3 of them to Jamar Chase because we have no one covering him. Sauce is probably out, so it's rest in peace to the Jets this week.
That's a tough loss, especially against Jamar Chase. Now Chase is gonna be running around like a freaking like a burglar. So
All right, Shake and Bake signing off.
shake and bake.